Hi, welcome back to Muddy Truck Racing. So, been a while since you've last seen us. Yeah, we've been busy, on and off. So, a couple of people at the indoor show are asking us when our next videos and that were going to be. So, we've now found ourselves with a little bit more time on our hands with everything going on. So, I thought we'd show you around what we've been doing and what's been going on since we've last spoke. So, the new truck's still coming on well. That's currently up in Wales with Charles Dunn. He's doing some pretty great work with that, so looking forward to seeing that. The progress is sort of slowing down a little bit due to not being able to get hold of parts, but it's to be expected with everything going on. So what I've been doing with my free time is working on Old Faithful. So originally my plan was wheel it into the garage, do a little bit of light maintenance, maybe touch a little paint up. Things escalated a little bit. So, yeah, there's not much left. Not much left. So what happened? I'll go through that in a bit more detail with you in a minute. But yeah, it's a bit more drastic work than I was first anticipating doing. But what we did, pulled it in. Last time I was out, it was suffering. I went to ticks over in it, and we were struggling for power. And I just thought it was because it was a TDI, that's asthmatic. But turns out, got it in here, I pulled the intake pipe off, and a load of kind of like debris and grit come out. Well, that's questionable. So, I don't know, I'm guessing you've seen our posts on Facebook and Instagram. There's not much left of our turbo, unfortunately, and the bearings are gone. But I think that's the least of its worries. So, yeah, we brought new inners for the turbo. Pulled the old one off, which surprisingly was quite an easy job, considering my level of expertise is quite low. I think the hardest bit of the whole thing was getting the 4 bolts out of the manifold. But other than that, I'd recommend the job to anyone. It took us a couple of hours, other than waiting for parts. Pretty easy. The only casualty of the whole job was when we took it off, I noticed the T-piece that goes into the turbo and then goes to the... swear it shows I don't know much. The bit that goes to the wastegate bit, the T-piece from ours is snapped off in the turbo, so we're left with several bits. But if anyone knows where we could find one of them, we'd really recommend letting us know, because I can't find one because I don't know what it's called. So yeah, we've done that. So did a bit of did a fuel filter, did a oil change, obviously sorted the turbo, another alternator on it, but wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with this vehicle. A lot of you'll know it was up for sale for a while. Then I had a change of heart and kept it. And all the people I was talking to, I was going to get a 90 chassis, cut all of it off and make a 90. And then I slept, and that idea went out the window along with the other ones. So now find ourselves what to do. Don't want to spend a lot of money, of course, because we've still got the other truck, and that is our main priority. That is the competition winner, and that is what we want to invest our time and money into. So what to do with Old Faithful? So spent a couple of quid. Obviously we had to find other bits for it, because I ripped the harnesses out, ripped the alternator off it. So we kind of used it a little bit as a donor car for the new one. But so what I did, it originally had a different setup on the pulley. I don't know if you can see here, I don't know how to rotate the camera, but we'll have a go. So originally we had the 24 alternator sitting up here, and we didn't have a fan pulley on it. You can get away with not running one of them because that is just an idler. There is nothing on the other side of the casing, so that was never an issue. But brought myself another pulley because, like an idiot, I threw the old one away, and set it back up to standard 300 TDI. I've then decided that I think I want to put a winch back on it. I would like to make it just a kind of punch hunt class 1 sort of toy, because why not? You know, Becky's starting to enjoy the driving a little bit more. So, and we spent all the money putting the hydro steer on it. So we think we should probably try and get some form of use out of it. So we'll have to. I've got a Gwyn Lewis alternator mount to go on there. So we'll put. I'd like to really put another 12-volt alternator up there, and if I can get hold of, I'd like to go for like a good winch 12 to 24 volt box. I've got another 2 batteries. Not quite sure on how all of that circuit and system works, but that's what I'd sort of like to do. Rather than going for the 24 volt alternator, go for the 24 volt box. That way you just we're using parts that we have more in supply than having to go out and buy other bits. So trying to save the pennies where we can, but it's not always easy. So we'll try and sort out a winch for it and all the maintenance bits and try and get it. It's some reason it's sprung a fuel leak, because that's what happens when you service them. Who knew? So yeah, I've been in and ripped out all the winch wiring. The reason for that being, as I was going through taking parts off, I noticed behind the passenger seat the wiring for one of the winches. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not meant to be that colour. That's not a good colour of wiring. That's meant to be copper. So it's had some abuse gone through it. So we pulled out everything we could. So plan being, I went into the dash as well and just pulled out all the auxiliary stuff. Like it still had all the wiring for the X-Eng thermostat, but I haven't had that on there for about a year, so I thought there's no point in keeping it surplus wiring. So that's gone. What else have we done? We've been busy, obviously. Nothing in here, so we stripped it all back. Wire brushed the whole cage because it was looking a bit tatty. But the big dilemma for me at the minute is cab or no cab. We've still got the truck cab, but I don't know. I'm a little bit inspired by Ant's truck, where he's got no cab with the panels in the back and that bit perspex, and obviously there'd be a mesh up front, because I can't be asked to buy a second wiper motor, because the one I originally had for this, that's gone to the new truck. So I don't know whether I can justify 40 quid or however much it is, or I'm just being a Scrooge. So I'd love to hear if anyone's got any opinion on that. Say, do we keep the truck cab and bother to wire some wipers in, or do we just go rogue and go for the panels and just put the mesh in the front? It's one less thing to break. So that's the dilemma room. That's what's keeping me up at night. So yeah, so we obviously still got all the panels to paint, all of them to paint. So the truck cab's sitting there. I don't know whether to put paint on it or not or yet, because I've got to see what the people say. So yeah, other than that, I think the plan is, as I say, we just want to try and make it a nice truck and just something usable. So we spent the money on the hydro steer. You saw that on the last video when it was at Dom's. So it did have the trail gear system on it, but I nicked that again for the new truck. So this has got a Lee Craighead's kit on it. It's a Lee Craighead ramp with a Lee Craighead orbital, and I've got, I don't know if you can see over there, the trail gear reservoir, maybe filter, don't know what it's called. So we've got that. I've not used this other than going on the trailer and off the trailer, so I'll be really interested to see if there is a difference between these two rams. I've heard a lot of people say other things, but we'll see. Whenever that is, we'll see. So yeah, the only other job that I would like to achieve with it is I'd like to lower it, because in the process, the axle's gone forward 8 inches. In the process of doing that, I don't know if you've seen the front of a Defender it's a Range Rover chassis. It goes up, and then kind of where your coil would normally sit is lower down. Because it's gone forward, it's gone up. So the truck's lifted 2 inches. So to compensate that, so the car didn't sit like all wonky, we put a 2-inch lift block under the back. So it sits lovely and level, but it's just a bit high. I don't know, I feel we're losing quite a lot of stability here. So I've got some new seat pads so we can lower it at the back, but we need to find some standard good front springs for it, and then that should be that job done. Or we just do something horrible and cut the springs. We'll see. See how long we stay in here for. So yeah, other than that, I think that's about everything we've been doing. Say, cab, no cab, that's the question to you people. What do we do? Do we take the grinder to what's there, or what would you like to see out of this car? Because I'm running out of ideas fairly quickly, but I don't want to make this a one-off video. I'd like to do as many as I can over this time. So we've got a couple of ideas for other things we'd like to bring to you and show, but mainly we want to keep it entertaining, but I'd like to put it to you. What would you like to see from us? Would you like to see a more detailed video on what we've been working on? Would you like to see us working on things? Would you like to see more of the trucks, or just more of this? Probably not. So that's what we'd like to hear from you. Leave as many comments as you can, and we'll try our best to reply to them all. We're on Instagram, Facebook, so try and spread it as much about as we can, and yeah, we'll try and keep us entertained through this somewhat boring time. We'll do the best we can, but for now, we'll just keep painting. There's nothing else for it, so yeah. Right, thanks for watching.